reporter for CBS 11. In 2001, he left broadcast journalism and joined the United Way as Director of Communications, then into the mayor's office, and then to Mary Kay. First in government relations, and today as Director of Corporate Communications and Corporate Responsibility for Mary Kay Incorporated. Please welcome a member of the class of 2011's 40 Under 40, Creighton Webb.
That is far kinder than I deserve. My mother characterizes it a little bit differently. We all have mothers who keep us humble, right? First she says you were a journalist, and then you were in politics, and then you were a lobbyist. Now you just need to be a used car salesman and a game show host to secure your place in hell. Thank you, Mother. I appreciate that very much. I was never sure, though, what was worse when I was a reporter, and I consider myself a recovering journalist. I still kind of have that twitch. Moms, as they do when they come to Dallas, they like to go shopping. She would go up to the Galleria. She would start talking to the young women behind the desk and say, you know, my son's on TV. If you think he's cute, why don't you give him a call? And I never could tell what was worse, the fact that my mom was pimping me out to complete strangers, or the fact that I never, ever got one single phone call. So it was very humbling indeed. Tricia said it right. CSR is something that's on everybody's mind, although not necessarily in the way you might expect. I talked to a recent colleague yesterday and said, you know, we really... we need to be focusing on CSR. This is something that I get to talk about tomorrow. And he said, yes, I watch all 3 shows, CSR Miami, CSR Las Vegas, CSR New York. So you all, because you're here, already have a good handle on what corporate social responsibility is. Tricia kind of gave you the big picture, and I want to give you perhaps some more tactical examples of where the rubber hits the road. First, let me give you just a little bit of background about Mary Kay. So we're coming up on our 50th anniversary on Friday the 13th of September 1963. Mary Kay Ash founded her company with just $5,000, 9 friends here in Dallas, Texas, in a little storefront. Her husband actually had died a month before they were ready to launch. And her young 20-year-old son, Richard Rogers, who's still our chairman of the board, still owner of the company, said, Mom, let me help you out. We'll start the company together. And she said, great, what can you do? Carry some boxes? And of course, now the company is in 35-plus markets around the world. Mary Kay China has 700,000 independent beauty consultants, women selling Mary Kay. There's 600,000 in the U.S. This quarter, Mary Kay China is expected to exceed the U.S. from a revenue perspective. So indeed, come a long way. The products, full skincare line, I'm 72. So a nice men's line as well. Color cosmetics as well as fragrance. And one of the new things that we're doing it used to be everything was manufactured here in Dallas at Regal Row, would ship it out to the rest of the world and say, take what you want. If it works in your market, great. If not, too bad. Now we're customizing. So by the end of 2013, there will be 12 fragrances that we offer in Mary Kay Brazil, Mary Kay Mexico, and Mary Kay Argentina that we don't offer anywhere else around the world, because fragrance is what they want in Latin America. And the opportunity, there's 2.4 million women around the world who have their own Mary Kay businesses. They're direct sellers, they're independent contractors. They buy the product directly from us at a wholesale rate, and they sell it to the end user, the consumer, at a suggested retail price, or they keep it. They use it for themselves. It's up to them. We call all of our corporate social responsibility programs, it's under a bucket that we call Pink Changing Lives. And one of our liabilities, I've got just a few things that I'll tell you about here in a few minutes, some suggestions. For so long, we did not tell our story. Mary Kay founded the company on the principle of the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And quite frankly, she was a very faithful woman, very deep in her faith. And she believed, just like your faith, that you don't go out and wave the flag and say, look at me, look at me, look at what we're doing. The problem is, in this day and age, you have to tell people what you're doing. So it was only 2007 when we had the opportunity to go to our executive team at Mary Kay and say, it's time to brand our corporate social responsibility activities. It's time to have a strategy, and it's time to have a center of the wheel. Our mission as a company is to enrich women's lives, but let's be more focused. We had countries saying, well, we're going to donate to, and no offense to this particular organization, it just wasn't fit for us. One country said, we work with animal welfare groups because studies show that women who own dogs live longer. It's like, okay, I see the connection, but let's be a little more strategic, and perhaps it makes more sense for us to think about how we're going to enrich women's lives in a different way. Let me give you just a high-level sense of some of our individual programs. Tricia did a great job talking about citizenship as it relates to volunteerism and employees. While we have 2.4 million women selling Mary Kay, we only have about 5,000 employees around the world. This year, for International Women's Day, second year in a row, we pledged 1 million hours of community service around the world over the month around International Women's Day. Didn't quite get there, but we were really proud to do it and to engage our employees. And as an additional incentive, this year for employees, we held a contest for those who would blog about their experience, and we had 50 around the world, 50 employees in all different languages, write a blog post about their individual experience volunteering. We would donate $1,000 to their charity of choice for 10 different winners around the world. It was a great way to get our employees excited about the program. We call all of our sustainability initiatives Pink Doing Green. Kind of fits under that bucket. One of our signature programs is a partnership with the Arbor Day Foundation. It's a take-back program. So every time we launch a new product, right, I mean, how many women are going to buy a $50 perfume in a recyclable plastic bottle? Well, you're just not going to do it, right? I mean, so there's certain realities in the cosmetics industry about what you expect as a consumer in packaging. So 3 years ago when we launched a brand new compact, we told all of our independent beauty consultants, for every compact you bring back to us, we'll plant a tree, up to 100,000 trees. And we got there easily. The compact, that ran its course, and so now there's a number of recyclables we have, including flip-top caps that are number 5 recyclables. Difficult to recycle in some municipalities. By the way, you can recycle them in Dallas. So for every 10 we get back, again, we plant a tree through the Arbor Day Foundation. Our signature program, our number 1 philanthropy, is our own foundation. It's been around since 1996. The 2 causes are cancers affecting women, as well as domestic violence. And from a Mary Kay Inc. perspective, domestic violence has really been our focus. By the end of this year, the Mary Kay Foundation will have donated $31 million to individual domestic violence programs and shelters around the country. Every October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the Foundation donates 150 $20,000 grants to shelters with no restrictions. They can keep the lights on or they can hire employees. But it's been our number 1 cause. Something that's a natural asset for us is all of the shelters, more than 1,000 of them around the country, that have either applied for or received shelter grants over the last 10, 12 years. So for the last 4 years, we've surveyed them, and I put this on all of your seats. This is the 2012 Mary Kay Truth About Abuse Survey. It seems intuitive that if the economy is going to go down, domestic violence would go up. But we found that both reporters as well as shelters who were applying for grants with other foundations didn't have any data that actually proved it. So we surveyed them, have done so over the last 4 years, and unfortunately, even though we're in recovery, we continue to see that domestic violence, or the cases reported of domestic violence, are on the rise. Both on the rise as the economy has been in recession and then even here in recovery. It's been a useful tool not only to share with reporters, but also for those shelters to use as they're applying to receive funds from foundations. We have a cause-related marketing program, lipsticks, where $1 goes to causes that change the lives of women and children. Every subsidiary around the world has their own signature program. They choose which lipstick shades they want to use, always with a name like Give Joy, Give Dreams, Give Hope. They're significantly named to fit within that corporate social responsibility arena. And then every subsidiary chooses the beneficiary based on what works for them. We've had a program also with the Arbor Day Foundation and domestic violence shelters that's combined with our sustainability initiative to build Nature Explore classrooms at domestic violence shelters. We've built now 13 at shelters across the country, all part of this idea that children who are subjected to abuse or who are abused, who have a chance to be outside, are more likely to heal faster. Because think about it, if you've gone to if you're a child at a shelter, there's a good chance you can't go to school, you can't go to the local playground, there's nowhere for you to go that's a safe place for you to have fun.